evening, and thank you for coming to Deb Chanel's 48's World, where we do reality shows, reviews, and amongst other things. But tonight we're going to be reviewing The Housewives of Potomac. Okay, let's just get right on into it because, again, it's a hot mess. And the next time I do a review on them, it'll be their last one for the season. So I don't know if they're going to get a season two. They probably will. But hopefully they can step their game up because right now, on a scale of 1 to 10, this particular episode was a 5. And I'm just being very generous with it because it was a little antics there into the show. But let's go on into it. First, we're being greeted with Robin and Giselle. Evidently, they're having a lunch date, and they're both at the restaurant. They're chit chatting and toasting and all this kind of stuff, and they're really toasting to new beginnings. And it is a new beginning because Giselle is out there in the public's eye as a single female now with 3 beautiful girls. And she's pretty much, saying she's out there. She wants love again. She wants to be in a relationship, but she wants to take it slow. So, with the essence of Giselle looking at Robin's situation, she thinks Robin is a very good human being. She thinks she does deserve love, and that she's going to pay attention to staying with her ex-husband, who she really loves and admires and wants to be with. They just had shake up, rocky type marriage because of a lot of things. One was infidelity, the other one was money being taken by one of their friends that they trusted. I'm pretty sure it was Juan's friend, but they invested into something with him, and it was pretty much a scam. And he got up and left, and took their money and their life savings, and it's just been a struggle since then. Um, but she's not wanting one to take advantage of her friend, Robin, as well. So she's kind of like, in past clips, they showed us that she was having a conversation with Juan about, the relationship. Where is it going? Because she don't want her friend being strung along. Even though they're still cohabitating a home, they're still splitting um, mommy and daddy duties with the kids and providing for them. And the kids don't have a clue that they're divorced, but as much as they're keeping it a secret, they can be back married and it never would have missed a beat with the kids because, like I said, they're still cohabitating in the same home, and the kids are pretty much seeing their father on a regular basis. So there are no worries on their parts. So Giselle is pretty much asking Robin, did Juan, discuss anything with her about the conversation that they had at the ballpark and this, that, and the other. And, pretty much she laughed and chuckled here and there. And she said, honey, Juan was like, stay out of their business. And most definitely stay out of his business. So, they both were laughing about the whole ordeal. But I could see her going to bats for her friend and just trying to get one to understand that, look, y'all either need to be together or y'all don't need to be together. Both y'all need to enjoy life, and y'all need to be with the people that's going to make you all happy. And she just trying to make a point to Juan about taking things a little bit more serious than what he's actually doing at this point. Then we move on to Katie and Katie's friend, Miss T. Katie's in the backyard of their home, calling herself gardening. I don't know what Katie's doing, pretty much. Seems like she just have on all the tools and have the equipment, but she ain't doing that. She just, making it look okay for the cameras. But anyway, she comes in the back and she sees Katie, doing all of this gardening, and she pretty much is like, trying to catch her up on all the comings and goings of her life, and actually telling her about a gala or a cocktail party that she was at. She's referring to Karen's um, previous engagement that she had a fundraiser at her home for Alzheimer's. The Alzheimer's cause and disease, and bringing awareness to that particular disease that affects millions of elderly individuals. And she was just throwing shade on her and saying her house was suitable, but she really expected more from Karen, since she's so high class and so uh much um she has so much solidification in the state of Potomac that she need to have done better than had to have been at her house. It should have been at another high priced event hall, and she should have had an event planner, and it should just been all up to the nines and stuff, with all the celebrity glitz and glamour. Like, boo, this not the Oscars. Shut up. Take several seats or just throw yourself under your bed, okay? Because I'm sick of you already. And the friend is just kikiing it up with her because she don't too much know her personally, meaning Karen, and she don't hang in that type of circle of friends. So of course she's just listening to Katie go on and on about people she don't know about, and to me, I don't think she really cared to ever meet her. So the scene goes to Ray and Karen. Both are in the garage and they're just looking over, little baby toys and stuff. And, Ray has in his hands some skates, look like Barbie skates that Raven could have worn. I mean, she's 17 years old. They went way back for that. And, I'm just trying to figure out how they garage is so clean like that amongst the boxes and that stuff of that nature. But I'm like, y'all should have been had this stuff in storage or given it away to the Goodwill or whatever. The girl can't have no skates. The skates are going down memory lane, child. I don't know. Going down memory lane. But I really thought that Karen would have bleeded the man dry for some more kisses. I don't know why, but I thought Brandon was Ray's son too. But they immediately told us as we speed up further into this episode that Brandon, Karen's oldest son, that has his master's degree in something. I don't know what it is, but it was from a previous marriage. So okay. So Ray, this is his only daughter, I'm assuming. Um, Raven, and that's the only child they had together. I could have sworn they had another one, but maybe if he had, I don't know, because Ray still would be old and shoe footing it, and just a little old butler type tease he giving me. It's like he's her servant other than her husband. But anyway, he's going over reminiscing about Raven, and the kids are gonna be at the house, and Carrie made reference that they can just go naked in the house. I'm like, who wanna see y'all? We move on to Katie and T. She's still throwing shade, really getting in detail, and they're showing clips from the previous scene where Karen had the little event gala at her house for the raising awareness for the Alzheimer's cause, and the charity she's starting on behalf of Ray's mother that recently passed from having that disease. And she just had everything set up, little booths or a little cocktail tables, and stuff. And, at least she did that and knew how to do it, Katie. You didn't do that. You didn't even go on and make a try to put the charity together. You saying you didn't even this, that, and the other. And why you didn't go out there and try? And at least you would have failed. You would have solved for yourself. You can't just pull off 100 grand type of fundraising party, and you just started it last week. Come on, boo. So I'm like, ugh, sit down somewhere. You just getting on my nerve. Then we flow back to Ray and Karen, and he was asking or expressing to his wife Karen what happened towards the end of their cocktail party or gala extravaganza that they throw. I'm gonna say last episode. I ain't gonna say last weekend because it is what it is. And she was expressing to Ray that she had to pretty much get Miss Ashley in control because she was just out of line. And, she was saying her alter ego, I don't know what did she call her alter ego, but she was coming out of pocket and this, that, and the other. And, he too much didn't care because it was something that happened at the very end of the event. So it didn't really cause any havoc or negative distraction that would have took away from his mother's event and the Alzheimer awareness that he was trying to get people to come on board with giving their funding for the cause. So he was like, okay, some more petty girl stuff. All right, thank you. I just wanted to know. And then the scene moves to Katie and T again. Child, now she throwing shade on Giselle and what Giselle has done, and this, that, and the other. And, I'm like, give it a rest, Katie. You go from one person to the next, and it's always going to center back around either Giselle or Karen doing something. Or then, you're here to throw Robin under the bus sometimes. I mean, it never ends with you. I always deflect. When, people are trying to come after you, you got to, deflect the incident off of you and put it on somebody else. I mean, typical Katie. Then it goes back to Ray and Karen, and they're pretty much finishing up in the garage scene, which was boring, of course. But when you're filming with them two, they don't have too much to give you, because he's boring and Karen just likes to throw shade, and it just is what it is, pretty much. So they're talking about being sexual more with each other since Raven is not going to be there, and they'll be a little freer and don't have to watch themselves as much, but whatever. Okay, then we go to the scene with Ashley and her mom. Ashley's over there picking up her mom for the day, or at least for the afternoon. I was assuming that she's probably picking her up and they're going shopping or maybe going to have lunch together. And I was right. She picked her up and they're headed to a restaurant to have lunch. But in between the time of picking her up and getting to the restaurant itself, her mama, I think her mama's name is April too. Anyway, she's asking what's going on with this little car. Why does it keep cutting off? And basically, I guess what it's doing is idling down to where it seems like it is cut off, but it's really not. And Karen goes on to Ashley goes on to tell her mother that it's a conserving energy type of vehicle. Now, I don't know if it's one of those smart cars that she has to plug up, a green type energy saving kind of car was good for the environment. It's not using gasoline, but it's using electricity. So I'm not really sure what kind of car Mr. Michael has bought her. But anyway, she goes on and says like a conservative type car, meaning I guess it's being fueled on um, electric fuel instead of gasoline, crude oil. And she goes in and she talks to her mother at the restaurant because they finally do get there. They're ordering, place their orders in. And she goes on to say, Mom, I know you don't want for me to help you, but I know you've been struggling, this, that, and the other. And her husband, Michael, has been talking, and they would like to put Ashley's mom into another home. And of course, Ashley's mom is looking at her like she crazy and this, that, and the other. And yes, I would be looking at her crazy too, because when she said her and her husband, I'm like, okay, are you talking about Michael? Meaning Michael, the one you just got married to? Um, Michael who has his own businesses and you don't have any money. You were pretty much a bartender of his until I guess you start, seducing him and then making yourself be a permanent fixture in his life, and you probably use your feminine charms on him to get him to marry you. Woo! But anyway, her mom just said thank you, and she will be accepting of that big house as a parent. If I was mom, I would have to get the house Then again, I don't know the situation, because if she went full bankruptcy, then okay, nobody will come for her. If she put all her bills and all her creditors in that bankruptcy, if she went 7, if she went 13, honey, don't put nothing in her name, because they would come back and try to liquidate that house to get rid of all her bills. Child, please. Anyway, to me, it would have been like, okay, why wouldn't you have asked Michael for the money of how much debt she was in, so she didn't have to go chapter 7 or 13? You know, because I'm sure the house that you're going to try to get her is going to be, hopefully, well, if it's in the California area here, you might be talking about a $200,000 home. So no, it's in Platomic, Maryland. Okay, I'm thinking about Beverly Hills Hospital. So, but it's still, I'm sure, in living in Washington, um, in that area, it's still gonna be expensive. So I'm really not understanding that. But if you want to buy your mama home and she's willing to move on in there with the idea that you don't own anything, he can come back and take it, because I'm pretty sure it'll be in his name, because I don't think you're thinking at all. And with the mama just wanting to receive help, she's probably not really thinking herself. But if y'all don't have that home in one of y'all's names, and it's clearly put on there your home or your husband, I mean either Ashley's home that she's buying for her mom, or it's not even in her mother's full name, and that's the only name that's there, then he can come back and take it anytime he want to, and it's like you're living or being leased out. So I'm like, I don't know, honey. It's a great gesture, but I'm like, you just married the man, and you're, mm-mm, mm-mm. I don't know. We're gonna leave that situation alone. We're gonna leave it alone. We move on to Sharice. She's getting her hair and makeup done, because she's done set aside a photographer to come to her home and make her up, because she is wanting to have a video to be a part of this big 50th birthday bash that she's giving to herself. And so the gentleman comes over, takes pictures with her. I don't know where she was going with them sandals. She could have did a lot better, because it just didn't go with the outfit to me. It's like she was taking something from a summer vacation type thing. I didn't like it. She needed a stylist, at least for the shoes and the earrings and the hair. The hair should have been pinned up or swooshed to the side, giving her a more younger feel. I don't know. I didn't too much care for it, but, to each his own. If she thought she was hot, then go ahead, baby girl. Go ahead. But anyway, that they were taking pictures of the kids and this, that, as well as her and the dogs. And I guess they were going to take some of those portraits and put into a slideshow that she can show at her birthday party. So that was pretty much it. And she had invited Katie over, because she knew Katie was a former model, and she could probably give her some model tips. But like I said, she was doing fine by herself and the photographer, and he giving her, poses to try and this, that, and the other. Katie was just more of an afterthought. She could have just stayed where she was, because I didn't want to hear all that. So, that's where we were. And she was inquiring also, was Eddie going to come to her event? She didn't really know. She didn't really care at the time. So, it is what it is. And then they show a clip where 3 days earlier she goes and look at this event hall, and it's gorgeous. It's like you're going to a museum, um, and the artifacts are inside, or you're going to the state capitol. This is how big this place was, and it showed had a price tag of $80,000. Can y'all understand what I'm saying? $80,000. In Atlanta, that could be a home, or for a single mom or a family starting out. And she just wasted on a party for a couple of hours, 80,000. So I don't know, honey. I don't know if half of the money was paid and then they're gonna get their other half after the event was over, or whatever. But I'm like, she's not in a good space, not at all, with her husband, and she's gonna fork over 80 grand for a 50th birthday party. I don't see it, but hey, it is what it is, and maybe he just done a lot to her to approve that cost. But I was like, I still couldn't get over the 80 grand. I mean, 5,000, okay. And that was been very, very generous because that would have been a wedding for me. But 80,000? Girl, that's two cars, three cars, depending on what you get. Oh, I just, as you know, as you can see, that's not my type of living. So it is what it is. We move on. Um, it goes to Raymond and Karen again. And somebody is calling Karen or Raymond, whoever, that they must have forgotten that they had these balloons they needed to pick up for a barbecue party they was giving in Raven's behalf, because once the summer ended, she was going to be going off to college. So she's 17 years old. I don't know, maybe she started school early or whatever, because usually you graduate when you're turning 18 in that particular year. But they were saying 17, so, hooray for her. She's going off to college, getting her academic study on, and, you know, pretty much Karen goes out to the patio. Ray's trying to fire up the grill. I don't know what he's cooking, child, but anyway, she's saying, telling him to go pick up the balloons. And I'm like, okay, what are you doing, boo? Why you can't go pick up when are we going to see you in a car driving, going, doing something? But that's why I said, I don't know. They have a weird dynamics of a relationship, because she have him shoe footing around the house, getting wine, getting her clothes. I'm like, girl, stop playing like you all of that. It's giving me a headache. But anyway, she goes on to say, "Ugh, I don't know why Ray forgot that. He knew, you have to go and do this. And I'm so tired and this, that, and that." And really, I thought the little outfit she had on was like a short, what do you call, a house coat or something. I thought she was in her lingerie, because child. And then when I really saw her after the guest had got there, I said, no, she need to stop. That thing needed to been a little bit longer. Like some knee knockers or something like that. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I really didn't like it. But it seems like it was more so Ray's family was there. And I'm like, where's Karen family? Why are we all seeing Ray's family all the time on this show? Don't she have somebody? I know she said her mama was getting sick with Alzheimer's or dementia or some sort. But I'm like, where's your, do you have any sisters or brothers? Do you have anybody that we can see to vouch for you, honey? Damn, I don't think we seeing is his folks. I'm tired of looking at them. They all acting like they was, I don't know, they acting like slavery people or something. That just came off the boat and talking about this hard time. I'm like, maybe you all had the hard time, but Raven hadn't had no hard time, honey. Raven hadn't had no hard time, and it don't seem like Ray had a hard time either. So maybe your ancestors or somebody before that. I don't know, but anyway, they're basically going through the finale, and then some lady comes up talking about she's a bartender. Karen like, really? I'm like, Karen, the lady ain't just gonna come up, just pick your house arbitrarily and say she's gonna be attending, the bar selection or area for you. Come on, girl. So she went on, invited the lady in, and this, that, and that, and called Ray. Ray, did you hire a bartender? Then he goes on to tell her, yes. Why are you asking me? So I did find some relevance in Ray's existence as Karen's husband, because he do things without telling her. And I was all there for. I mean, you ain't got to tell your wife every little detail, because I don't think she tells Ray every little detail. Like she was trying to throw this extravagant Alzheimer awareness type banquet or extravaganza and all the, hoopla and all the other little things she wanted to come with that. And he shut it all down. He said, no, we ain't finna do all that. We ain't finna do all that. So we got to put Raven through college. Ain't nobody giving us no scholarships, or she might not have been smart enough to reap all those free benefits. And then it could have been on income based. And, we know how that goes. Maybe they wasn't part of that lottery, or maybe they don't have a lottery type thing in their state for her to partake of, especially if she was an A and B student, to reap those benefits. So, we all here. We all here. We peeping games. So, yeah, we need to pay for her college education and stuff. So yeah, we need to save our coins, and that's why I sit you down on an event. But yes, we're gonna have a bartender, because you don't know how to make drinks, and you just be floating around here and everything, ain't doing nothing. So yeah, we need some people that know what they're doing so they can treat my guests right. So, she has a meltdown after, I guess, she situates the bartender where she needs to be, and this, that, and that. She calls herself going upstairs, just having a meltdown. I'm like, girl, please have a meltdown when they trying to foreclose on your home, or something went wrong, in your circle of friends. They, in some bad situations, or some type of negativity happening. Then, may have a meltdown. Then have a meltdown when Ray said he don't want you no more, and you got to, go through a divorce. Yeah, that's a meltdown. But just because Ray didn't tell you that he hired a bartender, that's gonna throw a wrench in your whole day. Are you serious? No, Ray doesn't have to give you his itinerary. No, he doesn't have to tell you what he's spending money on, because it's his money. You having, to me, a little Ashley moment here. You ain't did anything to have gotten that man's wealth, okay? But sex him real good and continue to look good. That's pretty much all you do. So, sit down somewhere, Karen. Please sit down. So, we go on and we go to Giselle and all the girls, and meaning, when I'm saying all the girls, all her little adorable little women, they're meeting in the kitchen area, and she's letting them know that she is trying to date again, that her and their father are not getting back together. And, pretty much she wants to have a life, and she wants them to understand that she's dating. And then one of her cute daughters goes to say, oh, are you on a date.com or something? Single, so I don't forgot what the girl said, but it was cute. And she said, no, I'm not on those kind of dating websites, because all of this that you look at every day, honey, men come out the woodworks to be asking me for dates. I can just pick and choose. And they thought that was so funny, but they know their mother's very attractive, and she's kept her body on point, and she knows how to get a man. But she's just letting them know, in case they see several different guys come and go, which I don't think she's that type of mom. I think she will always meet the guy. But she don't want to have a shock when she does come up with the right guy that she feels she wants in her life, and when she starts to introduce them to, or introduce him to them, and it won't come as a shock. They'll already have that foreknowledge that she's been out there dating, and she, they know she wouldn't have anybody over them trying to be their stepdad, or a significant male role model in their lives, if she didn't deem them worthy. So I thought that was cute, and I think that's how every single parent should be. They should address the issue when it's time, uh, that they feel is appropriate, to let their children know that they're going to be dating someone else other than their father. Or, if it was a male, their mother, just let them know, so it won't be coming as a surprise, and they can go on and get out their anxiety already. Then it be something that's shown after you don't develop the relationship with a particular person. Then you try to introduce them to that person, and then they feel some kind of way, and it's always negative, and they be showing out and all this stuff, and then you got to really get them together. So I thought that was kudos to her. Very, very good. Then we move on to well, I think it's a scene that goes in where, wait a minute. Oh yeah. After she has that little time with them, the doorbell rings, and Charisse comes over with her two puppies, and they're the most trained puppies too. You don't never hear them bark or anything. I was impressed. But anyway, she comes over with her two puppies and her daughter, and they meet up and they hug and all this, that, and that. And her and Giselle goes into Giselle's kitchen area and they discuss her birthday party that's coming up, and she's thrilled about attending. And Giselle goes on to say, will your husband Eddie be joining us and this, that, and the other? And she was like, probably not, but in her heart's of hearts, she's wishing and hoping that he do make the drive down and surprise her. But she does tell her, she only turns 50 once a year, once out of a lifetime, pretty much. And she wants to do it grand. She wants to do it big. And she goes to tell her where the thing is at, going to be held at. And she gives her the price tag of $80,000, honey. And, Giselle just, Giselle's kind of country, but she does try to watch her money and she tries to, be respectful and conservative when it comes to spending that type of money. But she like, okay, I don't know why and if he will approve that, but I'm riding for you, honey. I'll be there and we gonna do this thing and stuff of that nature. But she was like watching her from the side, like, are you crazy? $80,000, and then you still have to buy a dress. And of course, she was calling herself wanting to change 3 separate times. And I remember seeing her in the white gown. Then she had like a red or peach type color. It's like peach. And I don't know what was the finale dress. I can't remember because, I don't think it was worth all of that. We move on to Robin and Juan. And, excuse me. This boring scene. He evidently tells Robin, prior to them sitting and actually having lunch, that evidently he didn't get the job that he was anticipating getting, that would have been out of town, but he's still wanting to be a head coach somewhere, but he's looking pretty much in town where he could stay and they don't have to sell their home or move out of their home and this, that, and the other. So really no decisions are being made between their relationship because he's not going anywhere. Move on from that scene. The morning of Sharice's party, she's meeting with her little staff she's not hired, and some of them are her friends, and just going over the day's events of what she wants to happen that night. And it's pretty much a boring scene. We go on to that evening when the party's actually happening. It's a gorgeous event. The event planner did a wonderful job. It's almost was setting like a wedding type setting, but whatever. First person on the scene, of course, is Andrew and Katie, and she's taking in all the ambiance of the outside of the event where it's being held, and when they finally get in, she has the same idea that I had already thought. It looks like a wedding type of motif scene that they got going in there, but it could also have been for her birthday because they had the cake and all this 50th celebration, so you knew what it was when you got there. But it does put you in the mind of a wedding hall type of reception being done extravagantly. And she goes on to tell, and Sharice is mixing and mingling, but she does come over to greet them, and she's trying to throw little digs at Andrew that yes, this would be a very good wedding event, and you can use her planner, just throwing little digs in there. And of course, Katie is like, yeah, it could be. I want to get married right now. I'm just going over, and like how I feel about Katie already. I hope she get replaced on the show because she has no relevance, and her continually begging and whining about being married to this man Andrew has gone really over. He, just said no. It's gonna be sometime in the future. Da 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 da. We don't know when that future may be. It could be 20 years from now. Anyway, we moving on from there. Second person who comes on the scene is Giselle and her stylist. Third person is Michael and Ashley. Fourth one is Raymond and Karen. Everybody's impressed at the event. Only Giselle and I think Katie was given the opportunity of knowing the price tag for just that particular hall event. Now I don't know if that was the place was 80,000 or the place plus the catering, the liquor, and the direct decorations, and then maybe it could be seen as an $80 bill of sale, but just for the hall to be having the event in 80,000, no. But anyway, we digress. We move on. Katie goes over to the woman. It goes over to the women, I'm sorry, when they're in their little circle of friends and groups, and she's trying to blend in. But everybody's not really there for Katie because they're not Katie, Ashley. Um, Ashley goes over. No, actually, it is Katie that actually goes in and tries to blend in, and just making a fool out of herself pretty much. And then when Giselle comes around, Katie kind of like saunters off and to herself and just want to be all gossipy. Then Ashley tries to come in the circle, and they're like, Ashley, I don't know, because we don't know when you're telling the truth or not. That's Giselle. And she just brings it back, because they want to know, really, did she really say them, or did she really say her couldn't be a part of Raven's life, and they couldn't hang around what do you call it? Raven. Or Ashley couldn't hang around Raven. And then she's talking about, well, let me go back into my bank. And I'm like, she's talking about memory bank, or she talking about First National or something. But, I don't know what Ashley mind or train of thought she be on these days, I tell you. But then she goes on to say freely, yeah, I think she was talking about me. But then, okay, why would you include the rest of the women when you knew in your own heart of hearts, your own mind, that she was talking about you, but you want to throw everybody under the bus with you when that wasn't the conversation. So, they go back and forth, and she's like, well, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And then, Giselle says she'll try to throw her a bone in a sense. She'll try to go and talk with Karen to see if it is at all possible that she can meet with her, and they just try to squash it. But, she's not too, um, hopeful of that possibility. But, Giselle goes on and tries to do it anyway. Katie tries to do it on her own first. She tried to talk to Karen. Karen tell her, no, this is not the time. No, we cannot do this. Da 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 da. And pretty much Karen walks off. I mean, yeah, Karen walks off from her. Like, she don't want to be bothered with you. You showed out the first time at the Bethany's beach house. Then you turn around. You try to mess with her friends at her gala that she was having at her house. Trying to say that her friends that she's been running with from day one, you know, um, they can't talk or be around her daughter when she ain't said nothing like that. She said chill, boo. But you try to make it like everybody. And then you're going to come up with this mess. No, it's not going to work. She said goodbye to you, and you should have took that as a hint. But anyway, as you go along, she tries to, Giselle tries to talk to Karen about it. Karen said no, she don't want to be bothered with her. This is not the time. This is not the event. And then she tells Ashley, she goes back and tell Ashley, no, this is a no-go. Don't approach her anymore. Of course, she don't care. She gonna do what she want to do. And that's why Karen shut her down. And then pretty much Michael sees that, she done had another altercation negatively gone wrong about trying to approach Karen. And, he goes in to tell her, and, of course, Ashley gives her a little spiel, and he's pretty much over it. He don't want her to have any more dealings with her. It's cool if they don't want to mesh together. He's fine with it. So then we go to Katie and Ashley, and Katie goes to talk with Giselle and Robin, in their own little circle, and they gotten on this biracial thing. And Katie is like going hard on Robin as well as Giselle, trying to figure out why do they think that they're not biracial. Well, they were both telling that their parents, well, I don't know about Giselle's parents, but Robin is saying both of her parents are black. And I do know because I had a friend in the past that I went to high school with. She's very light skinned. I mean, she couldn't pass for a Caucasian, but she's damn near close to them, and she has green eyes. And both of her parents, I think her father has like light brownish grayish eyes. But the mother, she's totally black. She's light skinned as well. But Katie just like, I mean, everybody has a little European in them. I don't think no race is pure, but they were just having a little tit for tat argument about who's really white, who's really biracial, who's really black. And it was like, why are we even talking about this? I kind of got confused myself. But, they were just going back and forth. And, Giselle and Robin stuck to their guns. They feel they're not biracial. There's solidarity into the black race, the African American race, and that's all. They ain't got nothing to do with it. They don't care. So then Kate, the next scene goes, Kate is discussing what she had just got in a fuss fight with Giselle and Robin about. And of course, he don't really want to hear it because it's all, she said stuff. It has nothing to do with anything manly. And he's already gave up the ideal of her even hanging around them. He feels they're all goofy, crazy women. So he's already gotten his opinion. And Katie, you're gonna want to need those friends in the future when pretty much Andrew drops your behind. So the same ones you clucking about with Andrew and laughing and giggling up when he says goodbye to your behind, along with your 3 kids that are not biologically his, who you gonna go run to then, boo? Who? Word for food for thought. Word is bond, honey. Anyway, we move on to the scene with Ashley and Michael. But before that scene, I forgot to tell you that when they were all on the dance floor dancing at Sharice's party, Michael was having too much of a good time, and I don't know what possessed him to go over and grab Andrew's butt or pop his butt or grope his butt. I don't know what he did, but he did. You couldn't really hardly see the scene from the angle, but he did something with Andrew's butt, and Andrew didn't feel like he was shocked about it. So he might swing that way as well, because we weren't on the football field for them to be tapping each other on the butt or anything of that nature. So I really don't know what was going on with that. But no, that's not something you do on the dance floor. No, not even swiping the opposite sex unless you are that person's date for that day, that night, or you actually have a relationship. But you just don't arbitrarily go sitting and go popping people on the butts or grabbing them unless you have a reason to. So they were trying to tell Ashley about her husband's antics on the dance floor. Of course, she was right there by him. But I don't know. Maybe she was looking at somebody else, because I don't know who she was dancing with. It looked like she was dancing by herself. But she could have been dancing with somebody else and not really paying attention to her husband. I don't know. But anyway, she looked like she was in space anyway. But Ashley goes on to talk to her husband. And, because he was talking with somebody and she just interrupted them and told them she needed to talk with her husband. So Thomas, the guy he was chatting with, had, excused himself. And she went on to telling him like she had got offended or she had missed something that was very pertinent that she should have known. And questioning her husband's sexuality that she had to defend against to Robin and Giselle because they were at a loss. They don't know why a straight man would sit up there and, grope or pat on another man's behind, whatever. And she went over and she was very defensive with him. And I guess she didn't get the right response she wanted because then she started backing out that driveway or, backpedaling, as we would like to call it, when you're trying to get somebody straight, but then you feeling some kind of, tension that you don't want to fight with. It was like pretty much, okay, well, he seems kind of angry about this. I ain't going to talk about it no more, or I don't have a right to talk about it. But in essence, you did. You did have, you didn't see it, but you're going off other people's opinions, and then he's going to say, no, they're lying, I don't know what you're talking about, and this, that, and the other. But as she kept going on trying to say, well, it's okay with me if you did it, it's no biggie or whatever. I don't think you're gay or anything, you just was having fun. Then he gonna go on and say it, you know yeah, he did do it. But it wasn't like they were saying, anyway, because he don't care about all that. He likes who they are as a couple. And, he's trying to really deflect. That's all he was doing, deflecting. But I'm like, she should have been going over to Andrew and asking, Andrew, did my husband grab your butt? You know what I'm saying? Just to get the person that they had accused him of groping, that Andrew actually got groped or touched. Whether he felt indifferent about it or negative about it, whatever. At least she would have got it from the horse's mouth. But she went straight at her husband, honey, like he gonna tell her anything. Because he done showed us he's a freak. He's ready to jump over out the boat to go swim with the sharks. He don't care who's around. He's going around wanting to make peep eyes at other people's wives and girlfriends, and then he's filling on people's behind. So she don't know what to do with Mr. Michael. He's just a free spirited person, and he's just gonna do him, honey. But anyway, we move on from that whole scene, and Giselle and Robin has had a long time party, and they came to her birthday party. They knew it was a success because look who they were dealing with. All the liquor was free. They didn't have to go and pay anything. I'm just taking shots at Ashley and how she was doing them when she had invited them to different events. She didn't have an open bar. She had a pay cash bar. But anyway, she was, just telling Sharice, excuse me, she did a fantastic job with everything. And, you know, they saw that Eddie didn't get a chance to show up and show out with his wife. And, it's her personal dealings that she has to severage her marriage or not severage it, It's really what she feels. And she has the rights to call it quits. And I'm pretty sure the kids know. And I'm sure they've seen some behavior and different things with their dad, and he's doing with other women that hadn't come on the show. But, like I said, it ain't too far from them just calling it quits. Because if he really wanted to be with her, this was the best opportunity for him to surprise her and try to make amends and work on their relationship. Um, but that's all I had, guys. Other stuff really doesn't really matter. Like I said, if they get a second season, because I think we got one more episode, and then they call it quits, and then they go to their reunion. I think they really gonna have to step up their game. I wish they would get rid of Katie. She's not giving me anything. She's like Cynthia on the Housewives of Atlanta. They might want to replace Ashley as well, because I don't see her but being a little step stool that they want to step on every time they get a chance. But I mean, they be in their rights. They be all up in their rights to do so, because she just steps. She puts her foot in her mouth all the time, and then she likes to play the victim when she starts the stuff. So I ain't got time for her. I really don't. But that's all I have for Potomac. Hopefully you enjoyed my review. Get some insight on that show for this episode. Like, comment, and subscribe. Tell several of your friends. And that's all I got for this week, guys. I hope you all had a happy and safe Easter and with your families. And look forward to another Easter next year, right? Okay, y'all be safe, be encouraged, and stay positive. Okay? All right. Bye-bye.